Oh, customer, make 'em ballyhoo.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Redskin? I'd like to buy a tom-tom.
Bracelet.
No.
Moccasin.
No. I want tom-tom.
Me give 'em tom-tom.
Oh, thank you.
Me, I don't know. Oga, umala haba.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, I want to buy that.
Me, I don't know. Stick wood. No, take 'em, look.
Oh, they're gone.
Make 'em spring.
Uh-huh. Look at the fun they're having. Isn't that cute?
No make 'em smoke, no make 'em fire. Make 'em hot. Heap big point.
Oh, isn't he a little darling? Oh.
Hello, Toots.
Oh. Look at him.
Funny fella. Uh-oh, we gotta go.
Oh.
So long.
Oh.
Oh, what's the matter with her? That's no pot. That's tom-tom.
Tom-tom?
Uh-huh. Look, like this.
Oh.
Play. Big Indian brave. Just beat that drum and make it hum that swing like craze. Play. Princess White Wing. Don't feel forlorn. Grind out that corn and make it swing. Come in violin. Trombone make it sing. Tuba boy, cymbals ring. Yes, everybody swing, Oh, let him play, Mr. Redskin. You're in the groove now,
Hey, go, Daddy. Hello, you do the bowling. We're Redfoot Indians with a fui. bong bong. I believe smoke. Look at my phone. I look the phone. I look the phone. Go on, blue. Squid my phone. I look at
Goodbye, Mr. Redskin.
so long, everybody. Munga.
What up, cyberspace cadet, cyber fam, fanbots everywhere? It's all right, prostate. It's Saturday, and you know what that means? For the last time, it's time for the accelerated deconstruction with Accelerate and the lovely Tim and the Hun. I do want to say hey to everybody. What up, fam?
You said this is for the last time. It's not the last time. It's just the last time on a Saturday.
On Saturdays, right? We're moving this show to 7:30s on Wednesday Eastern. I mean Central. So it'll be 8:30 Eastern.
To be honest, it makes a lot more sense, and we won't have to miss as many days. There's a lot of other, like, you know, you got Fright Power Hour going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And you've got college football coming up, and, like, we need a weekend day off, right? Like, if you have streaming.
Well, it's like Spittlebuggy says, you need more Twitch viewers at Irate Prostate. It's like most of my Twitch viewers are at church right now, worshiping the Blue Whale. All hail Blue Whale. Creem be unto you all. I am friendly with this faith, and I encourage it. So
Right supremacy is the right supremacy.
Indeed. So, beginning with the lovely Atema, how's your day been, ma'am?
Actually had a pretty good day. I went and rearranged all my plants on my back porch so I can, like, sit there and actually enjoy it instead of just taking care of plants all the time. And yeah, it was nice. Got a lot of sun. It was warm out. You know, realized
Nice.
I have like 5 or 6 types of petunias, and like, yeah, I realized I have a lot of plants. A lot of
Nice.
plants.
Nice. What's your favorite just green plant to grow?
Like, what kind?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of plant, period?
Put
Oh, I
the
much prefer to grow-
like non-flowery, like mine's a hosta. I love those flowers.
I like those. I tend to grow those indoors, so I think I like things like,
I like dark. Yeah.
ferns. Yeah, I like ferns, and I like philodendrons and wandering Jews. I like those because they have the dark, rich purples and the variegations in the color.
Nice.
So, but overall, I prefer to do vegetable gardening. Like, I much prefer to have a field rather than just a porch with some pots.
No, Spiller, you don't have to do that. Not at all. I wasn't complaining. I was just saying I acknowledge the awesomeness of the Fright Supremacy broadcast, and I support those gentlemen in all their endeavors. We are not tight, but we're in alignment, and we are friendly with these people.
It's actually probably a little bit more tight with them than others. I'm on gaming streams with them quite a bit.
Right. All right.
You know, you were going to ask me something? Or you going to ask me how my day was?
How's your day been, Excel?
Oh, my aunt died and my car broke down.
Holy shit.
I mean, I already told you guys that.
We knew about that, but it's just like when you say it out loud, it's just, no.
It's
Sorry, yeah, so your mom's in a lot of pain, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She was just talking. That's how my mom deals with things. She just talks through it over and over. So I went over there and spent about 3 hours listening to her tell stories about her aunt, or about my aunt, how, you know, she was actually kind of mean and a shitty sister. And then about 20 years ago, she called and said, like, I know I just was a really shitty sister. And because she died for a little bit, like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like her heart stopped beating and they had to resuscitate her.
Yeah, it's an eye opener. It really is.
Yeah,
it really does. It's an amazing attitude adjustment.
Yeah, to confront to be confronted with your mortality is
boy.
it's no slight thing.
Yeah,
Trust
since
me.
then I hadn't been it's not like I had been close with her. Sometimes they would drive up here for the holidays, and that kind of stopped because she was kind of in bad shape anyway. Like, she's been on oxygen for like the last 8 years.
Wow.
But my mom would go visit her like on birthdays and holidays, and then they would talk every day on the phone. Like, my aunt just kind of latched onto her, so it was yeah. My mom's, she's going through a tough time. Funeral's on Wednesday. Gonna go support her, see that side of the family. Maybe not a terrible idea to see that side of the family a little bit more. Like, we never talk. I don't see that side of the family ever. But yeah, just so everybody else knows, I am not distressed. I was not close to this. Like I said, we're not close to the side of the family. I knew her some, maybe a little bit more when I was a kid, but I was so young whenever that side of the family was getting together all the time. Like, by the time I was a teenager, they never talked. Like, everybody kind of moved and spread out. So I am not distraught. To be honest, what is more of a pain in the ass to me is my car being fucked up. But fortunately, it's under a service plan, so I'm getting that all figured out Tuesday when the shop opens back up.
Cool. I still say it sounds like it's your TPS.
Yeah,
or your
it's a
O2
fucking
sensor.
it's a holiday weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to wait till Tuesday. It depends on where you go to get your stuff done. Some places just kind of say fuck it and we're going to be open, but those are usually
It's
independent
Labor
places.
Day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's the one
I
day
know.
you should not work, it's probably Labor Day, maybe.
Well,
I don't know. My cousin
So
ran
a lot
a
of-
shop for years, and they just every day, if somebody needed something, they just
See,
open
the
it.
commies celebrate that shit on May the 1st, so fuck them.
Significant percentage of people use it as like, oh, it's the last day of summer, and they go out to the lake and shit. for the
Shit, yeah.
weekend.
Hell yeah, man. And that ramen.
Oh yeah, but it's because my cousin's like, my cousin is female, and she married her husband, and they opened up a shop together, and it was like the 80s and the 90s, so they were trying to make a name for themselves against my uncle, who was the only competition in the area. So they were willing to be open on the holidays that he was like, no, I'm going to go, do my own thing. They would to counter it. So plus she was a female, so she always felt like she had to prove herself. And I never understood that, because if you just do good work, nobody cares.
All right, so topically for tonight, we're going to be talking about the Natomas Unified School District in Sacramento, California, and a certain teacher that was exposed by Project Veritas as being commie scum who says he has 180 days to create revolutionaries. And he's talking about your children, our cousins, our family. Right?
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to talk about it today is because I was literally sick to my stomach when that story started evolving. Like, when they first posted the video and that kid was like, a student came up to me and was like, hey, I mean, I'm not going to lie, that flag makes me feel uncomfortable. And he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's designed to make fascists feel uncomfortable. So maybe you shouldn't be aligning yourself with fascist beliefs.
Right, exactly.
And I'm just sitting there like, holy shit. Like, that is beyond inappropriate. Not only is it like that flag
It's
inappropriate
abusive,
to have in a classroom, but
Yeah.
saying that, like, yeah, that is awful to say to any kid.
All right, so
How many?
All right, I've got two reels before we get going on this. All right, I've got a reel that I cranked out last night on the Creem stream, right? And that what I'll do is we'll highlight like the story that Project Veritas dropped with him in it, right? His response to that video, and then there was a school board meeting where some parents showed up, right? And we'll highlight just some of the parents' stuff, and then I've got a 30-minute video of the superintendent meeting with Project Veritas. Okay.
Yeah, I would prefer to focus on the net new content, which would be that superintendent meeting.
Exactly. That's what I was.
I didn't realize you did this last night.
Yeah, no, but
I think I typed it before.
Oh man, this fucking sets people's shit on fire, man. I mean, it's literally, you know, it is triggering to everybody that I know that's seen it. You know.
Well, the instant he says I scare the fuck out of the kids, I'm like, okay, no, you need to be strung up because that means you're abusing my child, and I will not tolerate that. You have no idea. I will not tolerate anybody abusing my kids, and I know I'm not the only parent like that.
Yeah, so before people are like, oh, is it just right-wing cancel culture? I know, like, I've heard it on Twitter, and I was like, no, first off, these people are public servants. Second off, this isn't like somebody that goes to work at a construction company, does his job, doesn't share his political beliefs, and then goes home and literally has a swastika flag on his wall, right?
Right.
Those are totally different things. Like, this is a person that is a public servant going to work and using his job as a way to promote activism amongst children. Children and young adults, I guess, but still.
Right.
If I'm going to encourage activism, that's my fucking job. Let me encourage activism in my own children, and let me encourage them to do that in my way.
Hey, Culver,
Okay.
Thanks for the $5. What the hell is all this then? Shut up, Excel. I rate spitting the truth.
Yeah, I'll shut up.
I salute
man.
you,
I'm
Culver.
done.
Culver is awesome, man. I'm going to be talking with him on Ice Cream Interview tomorrow. So,
Yeah, for $5, I'll keep my mouth shut.
And another 5 from Culver says, Attila, tackle hugs.
Ruckus!
Wow,
oh my
dude.
God, BB, where the fuck you, BB?
Yes, Ruckus. Yes,
sorry.
exactly. Exactly.
I've known him for years, y'all. I've known him.
Yeah.
I've known him for so fucking long.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
yeah, and he's got
sweetie.
he's got one of the best voices I've ever, you know. He and Undoomed are tied for tied, just tied. They're just tied.
Yeah, they have radio voices.
They can't be any more untied. They're just tied.
It's classic radio voices. It's the kind you want to listen to
Nice
talk.
resonant,
Yes.
yes.
I enjoy. Yeah.
Bassy,
I love
resonant. Love it. All right. It's like, man, we sound like idiots, but if you're in, like, if you ever, like, did radio in college or whatever, that's the thing, man. We talk about voices and shit. Anyway, so, all right, I've got it pulled up. Everybody got their watch view link thing clicked up?
And good to go, sir.
All right, fam. Well, we're going to skip
Yeah.
this bitch here, and we're just going to focus on the Project Veritas part, okay?
Left.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you scare the fuck out of them? Yeah.
Sacramento organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? So that, yeah, when there's like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we'll create an opposition to that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Where would you go to connect to some of these organizations? Like,
I post a calendar every week. And then, so like, and I do it for extra credit, so they get points for doing it. Like, so that encourages them to do it. And I've had like students show up for like protests, community events, you know, tabling, food distribution, also all sorts of things. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's their extra credit. Like, I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that, and you said it made him feel uncomfortable. Well, this is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable, so if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, maybe you shouldn't be aligning with the values that this is antithetical to. So the Cultural Revolution in the 60s was fixing the problem that came about after the economic one. It ultimately failed, right? And there was a lot of excesses. People were definitely, like, you know, shot in the streets that probably shouldn't have been.
He's talking about the Cultural Revolution in China, by the way.
Yeah.
People were shot that maybe shouldn't have been. Shucks.
Yeah, this person actually had like what was it, like a statue of Mao in his classroom as well?
It was a poster, yeah, and it's like
Or a poster of Mao.
So basically, what he's saying is you know, genocide. Sometimes it's necessary. You know, collateral damage.
Incredibly ugly behavior come out of this.
You want to say something?
Yeah, you know how we talk about there's some people that are true believers? Like, this guy doesn't know he's the bad guy.
Yeah, dude, he's got.
Like, he thinks that this is all justified for his utopian ideology.
If you notice,
So what happens when this boy comes across a Vietnamese child?
Yeah, see, he's not thinking that way, man. You know, or you know,
He's gonna get his.
Dude,
Oh.
he's been teaching for years.
Yeah. First off, he's in California.
Sacramento's full of Vietnamese people.
He already talked about. So there's a lot of things to say. Like, just I don't even know where to start. Right. So we know that we're graduating an exponential number of activists that go into fields like teaching, or they're just parasites in academia for the rest of their life.
Hold on one day. Old Coom sock tips $1 and says, "Radio voices make me coom in my sock." Sorry. That's funny.
Well, yeah. So this guy, these teachers are being taught, like it's in their textbooks, that not only like is it okay to share your political beliefs, but it's a moral imperative that you get as many people to sign on to these revolutionary ideas as possible. And it's no surprise that these people are getting positions in school districts. I'm sure that people, even on that board that were listening to all the parents bitch, a lot of them probably agree with this guy, right? And when he says that there's other teachers that believe the same thing he does, I believe it. And it's probably going on all around the country.
I think Red China has a huge influence in California. I mean, I think it's got a huge foothold ideologically there. You'll notice this dude, you can tell he admires China, and he's going to go there on vacation. You'll see him talking about it in a minute. But I guarantee you, he's getting some jack under the table from them or Soros at some point. You know, it is about money.
Maybe so. He's going to go to China. He's going to go to one of the big cities. He's going to see these very fancy buildings and shopping malls and people working there. Very few customers, oddly enough. And he's not going to see the other side of China, which is their slave class that is fueling all of that. So. We can go up.
City, and you can see a couple of people over there that might be demonstrating that. Like 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you scare the fuck out of them?
People were definitely shot in the streets that probably shouldn't have been.
I like what you said in our phone call. So like I have 180 days, right?
Yeah. I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
And that's the question.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them I think they're distracted by the gadgets and video games. How do you do that? How do you scare the fuck out of them? Yeah.
Meet Gabriel Geit. He's a public school teacher paid for by taxpayer dollars at Intercom High School in Sacramento, California. Geit, who teaches advanced placement government classes, is not shy about his involvement in Antifa's local chapter. He even has an Antifa flag and a poster of Mao Zedong in his classroom.
So, it's like, my wife and I have been political organizers. I've been organizing since I was 13. Wow. And I've been in a ton of different organizations. And I've been on the front lines, and I've taken a step back and gone back and forth. And my wife is the same way.
Is there a local Antifa or chapter?
Yes. Yeah. The Sacramento organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? And like we have no official member list, right? So that when there is like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we we'll create an opposition to that. Yeah. So and Sacramento, as the city itself is incredibly diverse, but we're surrounded by a bunch of right-wing rednecks. And then the other really big organization in our area that if you're looking to get involved is NorCal Resist. NorCal Resist does direct outreach for undocumented folks. They help them with material support as well as legal aid and support with the help of National Lawyers Guild. So they work in tandem with each other. So that's why I do political efficacy events, because I want to get them out in the community. I want to get them familiar with organizations that are doing work, what type of work they're doing, how they can be involved, where their passion is, and what they can contribute. Because it's every single one of us can do something. I'm not asking you to all be on the front lines, but I am asking you to be involved. And it is so much more than just sharing a tweet or posting on Instagram.
Geit seems eager to get his students actively participating at radical, activist political events. But he takes it one step further by motivating them through extra credit in exchange for their attendance.
So for youth that, so let's say my son is pretty that do, he's 17. who want to get plugged in though to actually doing stuff in the community, to activism, where would you go to connect to some of these organizations? Like people that are interested on their flyers or something?
No, I post a calendar every week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the different organizations that you mentioned, so they can that's dope, man.
And then and I do it for extra credit, so they get points for doing it. Like, so that encourages them to do it. Because I can't just like here's some things going on. And I've had like students show for like protests, community events, tabling, food distribution.
What?
I love this Veritas.
But it's literally against the law. It's part of the federal code for education. You are not allowed to give kids extra credit for going to political activities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course you shouldn't, right? Or
for rallies,
if you do,
like anti-abortion rallies.
If you do, right? If you're saying like, hey, like get involved in the political process, they can pick what they want. Like, I would be fine with that if they're like, if you want to go to this rally or that rally, or if you want to go to like, support the libertarians, support the Republicans, support the Democrats, support the communists, doesn't matter. They should all be equally viable, especially like in a government class, right? Just to see how the process works, how, different factions rise and fall. I would be okay with that, but I guarantee that this calendar that this guy's posting, the only option they have is go to Antifa events.
Right. Exactly. Back BLM.
Sorry, I had myself muted and I was all talky and I totally just forgot what I said.
Yeah. Well, he's like talking about BLM, things like that.
Yeah, I will say this Project Veritas reporter is fucking awesome. He's like, yeah, so I got a son that's 17. He wants to get into activism. How does he do it? And then the guy responds. I was like, oh, I got a calendar, man. You can just go look it up. And he's like, that's dope, man. Like, this dude is totally convincing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's you know what? I say this is really good journalism. I remember when 60 Minutes used to do this kind of shit. All right. And somehow now they're better than that. All right. For some reason.
Now they're trying to say, oh, this is low because you're getting people to say what they actually think. Well, whenever we live in an era where almost everybody knows that like people put on a facade in front of the general public when their true motives are always something else.
Well, there was an old joke.
Well, okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say there's an old joke, it's like, you're having a bad day when Mike Wallace is in your fucking lobby. With a microphone. And that was fucking every Sunday. He was chasing people down because they had been busted on hidden camera stuff. And then somewhere, around the last 40 or 50 years, it just, it became uncool to do that shit. I don't know. But it's fine if it happens to righties, but if it happens to lefties, it's just narrative creation and selective clipping and editing.
Do you remember the Republican that got caught playing footsies looking for man boy love or whatever it was in the fucking bathroom or whatever?
At the airport, yeah.
At an airport, and it was like a big fucking deal.
He was the Speaker of the House. It wasn't sitting here. I can't remember the guy's name. He's gone now.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. But then you have that broad Katie Hill or whatever her name was that was in Congress, and she's screwing literally everybody in her cabinet.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, we're so sad to see her go."
Yeah,
and it's like, how? Fucking seriously.
Just remember, it's like we always point out that the queens and kings of the double standard are definitely the leftists. It's like I keep saying, it's oxygen to them. Double standard. Right,
but you're not actually supposed to send kids to political events for extra credit unless it's historically associated.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. Like I said, I wouldn't care if it was evenly distributed, but
Right.
Or if it was a politically neutral thing, like you can say, hey, like you can get involved in the political process at a young age. I don't care what ideology it is, you can get involved in whatever suits you, and you get the same amount of extra credit,
or tell
regardless.
Somebody, go to one lefty function and do a right wing function, and then write a paper contrasting and comparing the two.
Yeah, I mean that's
that would be
different.
legit. Yeah, exactly. They get to engage their own minds, and they get to make their own decisions and have their own ideas.
I'm absolutely certain
Go ahead.
I'm absolutely certain my college prep English teacher was a super lefty, but she would go through articles. And she would look for certain words and be like, this kind of word, like this is loaded language. This is not objective, neutral language. So I can actually thank her for like being able to read. Ever since then, I've been able to read articles and be like, okay, that's conjecture, that's loaded, that's opinion, right? I don't. Not only do I think they're not teaching kids to read between the lines anymore, but I think they're promoting that kind of writing, as long as it fits a certain agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
this guy is.
Okay, so
Sure.
I was going to say earlier, okay, so my oldest daughter is in her early 20s. She's 23 now. She was in, I think, 4th or 5th grade when Obama got elected. I want to say 4th grade. And one of the other kids, their parents ran the local bakery, and they brought in a bunch of cookies for the class that had the Obama logo on them. And my daughter, even at 9 years old, she said, I feel like this is a political statement, and I don't want one of your cookies. Sorry, I don't think this should be at the school. And the school called me. The teacher called me that afternoon to tell me that she was very disappointed that my daughter had taken such a hard right-wing stance.
It's not even a hard right-wing stance.
This was 14 years ago, baby.
Yeah, I know. It's fortunately, so what I had to deal with, because I grew up right next to where a certain set of Mormons think that Jesus Christ is going to land. The issues I had growing up were not social justice.
I'm sorry.
It was the religious right. Looking back 7th grade, like, I was always loosely raised Christian. My parents aren't particularly religious, but, they sent me to Sunday school for a while. I went to church at a Baptist church with somebody somebody I went to school with for a little bit in junior high. We were never really big on it, but like looking back, my 7th grade history teacher, because, you can teach the Bible as history, interjected, like, we're going to watch the movie, The 10 Commandments, as a historical film. And it's just not. That's a fantasy film at best. Even if you believe,
revised.
Yeah, even if you believe in it, right? Like, that's not a historical telling. You've got fucking magic and shit happening.
Hey, Coom Sock tips $1 and says, Excel, can you tell if my sock is loaded? Okay.
What? It went over my head.
I have no idea.
Can you tell them my sock is full?
Oh, man. Trippy, yes, you can enjoy a burger once in a while. What the hell? I'm answering that question. It's obviously that Excel is very haram. So there's that.
Well, you guys all saw Man Squatch's accurate picture from the live stream I was on camera. I most certainly am a Muslim extremist.
Yes. That beard is serious, dude.
You reminded me of like a king, like of ancient England or some shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that angle and shit. It was very regal. I was like, holy shit, man, he looks yeah.
What?
So, yeah.
What was the only angle I could have?
The depth filming thing, and it was like mostly me and Excel just said, hanging out, listening to you two chicks jam out about the education system, which was an awesome stream. And you should check it out, people. If you haven't seen it, watch the recording right after this, okay? All right.
And
So
sub to Death Omen, she's great.
yeah, and sub to everybody here. Okay. All right. The Tim's link is down below. As a matter of fact, any links you want to throw some shekels, make some comments like Coom Sock is doing. Yeah.
Don't go to my Streamlabs right now though, guys, because I haven't updated it in like 3 years.
Right.
So,
I've got streamelements.tip. I mean, Stream Elements,
Yeah,
and
go
it's
to-
got a tip page right there.
give it to Irate because he's actually putting effort in right now, and I have to go pay for dental work first. So
Dude, I feel you. I got no Streamlabs Excel.
Oh, ignore that. It's streamelements.com. My bad.
Streamelements.com /irate prostate /tip. All right. I deleted the message. I'm sorry, it made me laugh. You tickled me, Mr. Excel. In a good
It's
way.
fun.
I'm just so used to chilling Streamlabs.
Yeah, dude.
I know.
Yeah. Too bad they're dicks. And on that note, let's keep on rolling with Carlos. I swear to God, I keep saying Carlos because this dude looks like Carlos Maza.
He
Gabriel
pisses me
got-
off so fucking
Does he
bad,
not
though.
look
I
like
want to.
Carlos Maza? All right, and the big thing that got me was on his arm is tattooed ink sock with the V from the fucking
Okay.
from the book 1984 with the 2 + 2 = 5 above it. Right, and it's on the arm that he's like gesturing with right here on his upper arm. It drove me nuts. I wanted to throw something at the TV when I first saw it, to be honest
Dude,
with you.
I have several neighbors that have like hammer and sickles and stuff like that, and people I see in the store and stuff. And it's really hard when you have kids with you. And we've raised our children to be very staunch anti-communists because my husband and I are educated and not retarded. So, and I've also raised them to be First Amendment people. They speak their minds. And it's really hard to go into public with these two young ladies that want to call everybody they see with a swastika or not a swastika, a hammer and sickle, or the anarchy symbol tattooed on their arm or anything like that. My daughters will actually try to yell, "You're a tremendous faggot" at them. So it's I'm not lying. Those are the literal words my 9-year-old will try to throw at somebody, and I'm like, how the hell did you hear this?
Things
But,
kids say.
okay.
Dude, I swear
Well-
to God, 20, 30 years ago, like in that range, anarchy meant something else. Like,
Yeah.
Completely different.
there was always this loosely communist strain to it, but it wasn't very specific. Like a lot of it was just fuck all authority. Right?
Exactly.
Like, it was like a teenage angst type of thing.
Yeah, I mean the punk movement happened at the height of the Cold War, where it was hate, U.S. fuck the U.S. and fuck Russia. I was there, and that was a lot of it. It was like no government at all.
And there was also this huge strain of libertarian, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. I don't care about anything else.
Basically, yes.
And it kind of divulged in the late 80s, early 90s, and it split into the Jello Biafra style socialists and the
Hey,
Black
Lindsay.
Flag without fucking what's his name, Henry Rollins.
I mean, you have
Black
bands
Flag
like the
without
U.S.
Henry Rollins,
Bombs.
libertarians.
Even as far
And
back as
Vandals.
2008, a band called the U.S. Bombs, they actually did a tour pushing for people to vote for Ron Paul, and they
Yeah.
were as punk as you can get.
Right.
But there was two camps that diverged out of the 80s.
Yeah, and Green Day had a lot to do with it too. Anyway.
Yeah, fuck Green Day. Billy Joe's a bitch, dude.
He
Fucking
is,
creep.
man. Bitch made. All right.
Also all sorts of things. So I since I work with PSL, and PSL has connections with a bunch of other organizations, and also like Sacramento Peace Action, which is like a very old organization that posts a calendar on their website every month of all the events that are going on, and I just put them on my whiteboard, let them know where they are. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection, that's their extra credit.
If you look at these photos from Guy's classroom, you can see he has an Antifa flag as well as a poster of Mao Zedong, the Chinese dictator who is one of the most notoriously brutal leaders in history, responsible for the death of millions.
I probably as far left as you can go. So like, I've gone down those deep dark rabbit holes where like the idea of like adventurism and just being like, why aren't people just like taking up arms? Like, why are we, and you know, we have historical taking up arms like against the state, like, and we have historical examples of that happening and them getting crushed and being martyrs for a cause. And it's like, okay, well, it's slow going because it takes massive amounts of organization.
Geip's radical philosophy is prominent in the teaching in his own classroom. Geip goes on to say he's not the only teacher at Intricum High School who shares his radical beliefs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because a lot of senior parents at this point have backed off, right? So they're just kind of like, well, you can fend for yourself. You know, I know other people in my department who teach like 10th graders who've had like parent meetings, like some, you know, a student who complained about like a pride flag and something they felt uncomfortable. I've had students, you know, during anonymous surveys at the end of the year comment about the things that I have in my classroom. Like I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that, and he said it made him feel uncomfortable. And I addressed it to everyone because I didn't know who it was, and I was like, well, this is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable, so if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, maybe you shouldn't be aligning with the values that this is antithetical to.
You're distracted, bro.
Yeah, and it's
why I was asking
not
Hey, you say that in front of me or my family, and you're gonna get fucking
well, that's
punched.
just it. It's like, utilize that propaganda, right? Like, these are all great tools on how to get, you know, it's like, I've met so many people in my life who, when they met me, thought I was, like, off the wall, right? And now they're all Marxists, right? You know, and I'm just like, your political identification changed, and so I have a huge political spectrum room on the wall. So they take an ideology quiz in their unit 4, and I put their face, or they have to give me a picture of themselves, and I put it on the wall where they are. Every year, they get further and further left. And I've made them pay attention to where my tack marks are, because I'm like, these ideologies are considered extremes, right? Extreme times breed extreme ideologies, right? There is a reason why Generation Z, these kids, are becoming further and further left. If you,
Are there not teachers like you?
I think there are more than there used to be. And I think that, like, there's 3 other teachers in my department that I did my credential program with, and they're rad. They're great people. And they're definitely, like, on the same page.
So what do you think of China, though? Have you been?
I have not. I'm actually going in April.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to go just to see it, because I hear conflicting things.
Yeah. I think it's... One,
I mean,
there was you know, like the revolution that happened in 1949 with like Mao and like China's Communist Party, right? And then like the Cultural Revolution that happened in the 60s and 70s up until like Mao's death, and then Deng coming in and like opening up to capitalist, you know, kind of investment and creating the road that they're currently on. And then like what Xi Jinping is attempting to do now, kind of like going back to more the Maoist understanding of socialism. So you need a two-pronged system, which is exactly what Huey Newton and Fred Hampton understood, was that you needed propaganda of the deed, the economic, and also cultural propaganda as well. You needed to retrain the way that people think. So the Cultural Revolution in the 60s was fixing the problem that came about after the economic one, right? It was like, well, what can we do now to root out this culture that keeps perpetuating hyper-individualism, hyper-competitiveness, you know, capitalist exploitation and consolidation of wealth.
It's not hyper-competitiveness, it's natural competitiveness. It's not hyper-competitivness. There's nothing hyper about it. It's natural competition.
Right.
Humans are naturally competitive.
Right. Exactly.
Because it makes the have-nots feel bad when they can't compete on the same level that they biologically want to.
Yeah, what I find amazing about this guy supporting China is usually like your Twitter communist, they're just like, oh, well, we can't talk about China. That they're not communists, they're state capitalist. And this guy's just like, no, they're doing it right.
Yep. Because he's sucking their dick. I'm telling you, man, he's getting greased from them. This dude just reeks of the shit. Just saying. How much do you think all those tattoos cost, man?
I think he's been reprogrammed. And to be honest, a lot of people that are into that kind of shit become tattoo artists because I'm going to be real honest. Like, is it hard to be a tattoo artist? Sure. But it's not that hard, right? And you can get a job if you can do a decent job tracing some lines and doing some shading with a tattoo pen. because I've gotten like 2 of my 3 tattoos were free. I gave a tip, but they didn't charge me up front, and they were all done in the shop. So I'm sure that's what happened with him.
You also you don't think he paid for all his sleeves and shit? No,
it's not like it's not like the other kind of people that get a whole bunch of tattoos, which are like trust fund kids and stuff that pay the full price.
Yeah.
Like you probably paid $500 for all of it, maybe 1,000.
Yeah. Still, it's like most people on a teacher's salary couldn't afford that shit. I don't think so.
Not if you paid full price when a tattoo parlor walks in, if you're not friends with the artist.
FTW Neil, $2. Thank you. Super Chat says it puts the lotion on its skin. Oh.
I'd fuck me so hard. Oh my god, I shouldn't have said that to that guy. He didn't get it. That was fucking hilarious. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me so hard. He did not get it. That was great.
Fuck me, I'd fuck me.
Sorry. You said that, and it made me think of that bit, and now I'm thinking of Jay and Silent Bob, and I'm really fucking disturbed. God damn it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep rolling with Gabriel.
Rabbit hole brain.
The king of awesomeness. My favorite teacher that looks like Carlos Mazza. The lispy.
There was a lot of excesses. People were definitely shot in the streets that probably shouldn't have been. But I do think that it's important to understand that as an extension of an economic revolution. They were changing the base, and then they went to change the superstructure. And you cannot change one without the other. You can't have cultural shifts without the economic shift, and vice versa. So I think that for movements in the United States, that we need to be able to attack both fronts. Right? We need to create parallel structures of power because we cannot rely on the state. So we need to distribute food, necessities. We need to create those mutual aid programs that we can look back at groups like the Panthers and learn from their successes as well as their mistakes, as well as consistently focusing on education and a change in cultural propaganda. It's like we have to hit both fronts. We have to convince people that this is what we actually need.
We caught up with Gype to ask for comment.
Gabriel, hello, how are you?
I'm good.
I am a journalist with Project Veritas.
I don't feel comfortable with this.
Well, I think that there's been a lot of uncomfortability in your classroom. And you mentioned to one of our colleagues that you have 180 days to turn students into revolutionaries. Would you, a student, voice their uncomfortability in your classroom with the Antifa flag? Do you recall that? You tacitly implied they might be aligned with fascists. I mean, is this the kind of behavior in line with the mission statement of your high school?
You're harassing.
Sir, I'm not harassing you. I'm trying to get comments. You're a public school teacher.
I understand that.
You're a public school teacher.
Harassing.
And you're teaching things outside the curriculum of your school. I have some footage that I need to show a member of the school district here.
You guys can't be in here recording. You need to leave, please.
Okay, we're trying to show you.
No, I want you to leave. I'm going to call the police.
Gype believes it's okay to enforce his radical political agenda on his students. This tip came to us from someone on the inside of Gype's school and was corroborated by a Project Veritas undercover journalist.
It's a Project Veritas video, and the teacher is Gabriel Gype out in California.
All right. We'll go ahead and skip this part. All right. And we get to... All right. We'll go ahead and go to this part where he's taking it to the to the superintendent, and we'll expound on this
negligence issue, but no one wants to see this footage.
You guys can't be in here recording. You need to leave, please.
Okay.
But as a result of this thing, okay, so the heat went on, and this dude got he was given 2 weeks paid leave for evaluation. All right, and eventually he was fired. But this is his reaction to
we're trying to show
what
you
happened.
I want you to leave. I'm going to call the police.
Okay.
Is this a public building?
They have called the police to escort us from the building because we are attempting to get someone from the school district to watch footage of a teacher engaging in behavior that is blatantly a concern for security, health, and just well-being of these minors. Ma'am, can you tell me what your title is so I can leave? Okay. I'll be calling in momentarily just to get her title. She's a member of the school district. She has to give it to me. She's a public employee. Thank you for your help. Have a nice day. We'd rather call the police on someone who has footage of a safety concern instead of simply viewing the footage. These are the people who are running your child. These are the people making the decisions for your child's life. No accountability, no willingness, no responsibility. Cowards. Cowards.
Say thank you to every past student and colleague and friend who's reaching out right now in support of what is happening.
Because he's the victim. He's a big victim. And he's been done wrong because he didn't need to be exposed. He didn't want to be exposed. He didn't ask for that exposure. Yet he got
Fuck,
exposed.
I didn't know I was muted.
It's
But,
fine.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah,
good.
no, fuck that guy. Fuck you, dude. You're not a fucking victim. You're a fucking perpetrator and a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And there's a special place in hell for people like you, dude. You emaciated, tweaker-looking motherfucker. I'm gonna punch you in that giant, shiny Adam's apple, motherfucker.
Let me ask
Dude.
the chat. Does he not look like Carlos Mazza? Please, somebody say yes.
He
With
looks
a-
like
with
Mazza
a
on
beard.
meth, dude.
With a beard,
dude.
yeah.
He looks like
and a
Mazza
flat
on
hat.
meth.
That fucking flat
Yeah, he
hat.
looks like Mazza on meth,
And
or
you
if
know-
Mazza drank too much for too long.
Back in the day, man, I've rocked a flat hat like that. Now all the edgy boys are wearing that shit. Pissing me off. Making it uncool again. All right, let's watch the
Well,
rest
it
of
used to be a sign that you rode a motorcycle or did something really kind of odd, like smoked a pipe or something.
I want to interject real quick. Is why are these people afraid of being filmed? It's actually the same reason why the critical race theorists hate being called out for being critical race theorists, because they know that if what they were doing is exposed to your general public, a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, no, like, this is not palatable. This is not what we've learned. This is not the right direction for society. So they have to stay underground to an extent.
Hey, Mitch. Roots, we're not doing a call-in show. We might have time, like if we run out of a thing, and we might do a call-in after that. But we're just running a show tonight. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We have an open mind. I don't know. All right, so let's keep rolling with this. I want to get through this reel so we can get to the next reel, where it is actually this guy that's talking to the superintendent one-on-one. It's the school's filming of it. They filmed the whole thing, and they were afraid they were gonna. I guess you can see the whole thing here because you know how they deceptively edit their shit and stuff. Right, because that's the lefty media take on Project Veritas, is that they're sketchy and man, they do get a little hyperbolic here and there, but shit, man, it's like it's like them against how many
Well, you got to be able to sell your shit too. Okay,
Right.
You got to be able to sell your shit, and part of the way you sell stuff is through dramatics. So. Okay, I expect dramatics in my news because that's the way we sell shit now, and it's been the way we sell shit for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
So everybody's programmed to look for it. So I walk right past it these days. I recognize it for what it is. It's a marketing tool.
Yeah, it's a mess.
No responsibility. Cowards. Cowards.
Say thank you to every past student and colleague and friend who's reaching out right now in support of what is happening.
Thank you for abusing me, Teach.
My personal safety and security is obviously my top concern at this moment, but also like they are coming from my job and what I love doing in the classroom.
Yeah.
The worst part is that these kids that he he didn't indoctrinate them. He tried to reprogram them.
Yeah.
They went to college and got the same reprogramming.
Yes.
And got validation for what this guy was trying to teach him.
Exactly.
Like this problem, we'll get to it when we go to the school board meeting. But this issue, I'm sure it's going on everywhere, and it's much bigger than just this one guy.
Well, it's like I was saying last night. This is like cockroaches, man. For every one you see, there's like 150 you don't.
Well, that was, remember the parents we were watching? There were some from schools they weren't even in high school yet, and they're like, my kids are already dealing with this.
Right.
So.
It's trickle down shit, man. All right, so let's keep going. And we'll get to the family thing.
Are going to run this campaign and get public pressure behind them, and it is very likely that the district will cave in regards to this, and I'm hopeful that they don't, and all support at this moment is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Now to a classroom controversy in Sacramento. An undercover video and interview with a teacher claiming.
And go ahead and get to the meeting. See where that part starts. Yeah, this is long, man. So y'all tell me if you want me to go past stuff, okay?
Okay. No, it was long last night, and it was great to hear.
Stating a video of Guy talking about teaching students his political ideologies led school officials to look into his teaching methods.
We have been silent when you began teaching explicit sexual education in 8th grade and not giving us this information ahead of time. High school, kids are having sex in the bathroom at Endercom. They're vaping in the bathrooms at Endercom. 4 guns were at the football game the other night, and you do not tell these parents anything. I know because I have a daughter there who tells me these things. Race is being taught. The first day of school that my daughter goes, her teacher tells her that white is the worst race there is. They tell her that you cannot be racist against white people. This is just too much. This man being fired is not everything that we want. We need our rights back as parents. And we need to know what you're going to do to protect our rights and our children in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that I guarantee people that are on the school board.
That woman is dangerous, by the way. This woman is dangerous. Don't fuck with her. Don't. She's got that crazy, I'll fucking stab you in your fucking sleep look. Don't fuck with that woman.
Once again, I absolutely guarantee that the 3 or 4 people on the school board that are here listening to the parents, I guarantee at least half of them support these teachers. They even support the teacher that got fired, and they're only firing him because he got caught.
Exactly. There's a financial incentive going here. That's what I've been saying, Excel, is that they're all in it together. And the real money is going to these motherfuckers that these people are talking to, right?
The ones that walk out in the middle of the
superintendent, right, man. He's the one that's getting the help, the little nudge from Georgie Boy or the Chi-Coms, whatever you want to call them.
I do want to say that this entire, what's going on in these school board meetings, and believe it or not, school boards are not nearly as powerful as you think. But certainly, if you get raging people showing up at school board meetings, the district has to take action. One of the great examples I have of this is even in very religious states, when intelligent design was being taught in schools, which is basically teaching creationism. And like I said, I don't care if you believe that, it doesn't matter. But if you're going to learn the biological sciences and their theories, you can't just interject the idea that, or it could have been God, right? And all sorts of parents showed up and kicked these people out before a judge even ruled on it. It was already out of the schools before a court case went through saying they were violating separation of church and state. I think we're seeing the same thing here. Unfortunately, I think this needs to be going on in 500 plus school districts right now.
This has been going on since the second half of the Obama administration. I guarantee you that.
No, it is going on. See, the problem is, in California, school boards have a terrifying amount of power. They can request arrest warrants for parents. They have direct lines to Child Protective Services. They have they build profiles on the parents outside of the children, and it's supposedly completely legal, and it's something that the teachers unions have started doing, and they've been doing it for the last about 20 years. California is a really fucked up place. It's the legislation has gotten, or the legislators have gotten so corrupt that the legislature is it's insane.
Yeah, the union's become a political body, and I think that's where most of the corruption is.
Whether you're pro or against union, when you mix unions with the government, you get a terrible, terrible result.
Exactly. Communism. Every time.
We need our rights back as parents. And we need to know what you're going to do to protect our rights and our children in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to speak, and I also want to thank Project Veritas for exposing this, because without their due diligence, you guys would have done nothing, because you did nothing when these students complained. And when a student complained, Mr. Geip stood up before the class and bullied him and said that if this flag bothers you, you must be who it's supposed to bother. He told the students to put their photos up on the wall to identify their ideologies. Children do not come to school to identify their ideologies. They come to school to learn to become productive citizens. My brother graduated from Intercom with a 3.9 GPA. He and his fellow peers, right after graduation, joined the United States Marine Corps. And I cannot imagine that if that person taught my brother what path he would have been on if he was brainwashed and indoctrinated in this crap that he is teaching, that you guys are paying him to teach, that we are paying him to teach. My brother is a proud Native American Marine, and my sign says, the motto in residential school was to kill the Indian and save the child. Mr. Geip is killing the American child and saving communism. Is this a residential school or is this a public school?
Hello, members of the board. My name is Amir Deliri. I've got my 10-year-old son here. He's also a student in the Natomas Unified School District. Everybody knows why we're here. You know, the indoctrination of our kids is unacceptable. There's a clear line in the sand that needs to be drawn. It's funny, I'm sitting here waiting for my turn to speak, and I see all the district goals, and it seems like that teacher has violated every single one of those goals. And it doesn't seem that there's been any accountability to the brave Project Veritas reporter who came to alert the school of child abuse that's happening. I want to quote Mr. Geip's. The reporter asked, you know, how do you get the students to do this? He said, and I'm quoting, I scare the fuck out of them. Okay? That is child abuse. And this, not only is his termination need to be taken effective immediately, but I believe a criminal investigation needs to happen immediately. More importantly is the accountability. If a reporter who comes and dons press credentials and says, hey, we have a clear case of abuse, we want to show you this video, and they're turned away and the cops are called on them, you guys are public servants. You're taxpayer funded. Yeah. We pay everything here. Right?
I have two things to stand.
It really comes down to accountability. Who's monitoring the classroom environment? Did somebody not go around and see? The only two flags that should be in a classroom are that one and that one. Amen. Nothing else.
Yeah. So on the second point he made when he was talking about Project Veritas, going and trying to say, hey, just watch this video. Hey, look, this is a video. Like, I have proof of teachers doing, like, abusing children. Mm-hmm. And they threw them out. Like, that is sickening. Like, why wouldn't they at least have somebody watch it, right? It doesn't even have to be a high-level person. You don't have to get the most senior person in the building to watch it. Just somebody that has some sort of decision-making ability to watch it and be like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. And, you know, push it down the line. They just kicked them out. They didn't even want to look. They didn't care.
Virgil, you're cracking me up. Stop it. He said this is so fucking mad he took off his turban.
Yeah. Dude, I was gonna say he's actually way more dangerous than any of that, y'all. He's a fucking Armenian Christian. So don't fuck with this guy.
Oh shit.
Right.
Yeah, that's an Armenian Christian, y'all. That's a badass motherfucker, and he's from a long line of badass motherfuckers. There's a whole lot of them in Sacramento.
I actually have what I think they call them third cousins named Amir. I don't know. My sister-in-law's sister is married to an Armenian.
They're crazy ass motherfuckers, dude. They make them, dude. Ooh.
But to the first point about the criminal investigation, I don't think there needs to be a criminal investigation into the teacher because of everything they pointed out. There's no way. There is no way.
Fucking board.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way that they didn't know that this teacher put up those flags. There's no way they didn't know the implications of that. There's no way they didn't know what this teacher was teaching.
All right.
There's no way.
No. So what
it's
you're going to hear,
impossible.
all right, check me out. All right. So what you're going to hear is a lot of people say that there have been multiple complaints made about this guy, right? They said in a public statement last night that they could not find anything, any record of him being reported. Any record.
And that's the issue, is that it's not this teacher. Once again, this teacher is, like you said, it's just one cockroach.
Exactly.
Out of an infestation.
Exactly.
And I hope these parents understand. I hope they keep showing up. I hope they show up until all the cockroaches are gone.
It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, man.
It is.
You know? So
it feels like it. These people don't feel human anymore. Well, it's just so inhuman to try to force people into this weird collectivist thing. So it's really fucking frustrating to watch these people act so not normal. It's misanthropic. It's counterintuitive to being human, and it makes me crazy because communism doesn't work, and it never will because we aren't those. So it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Nature just means it's not going to work. We're way too individual and unique, and it's fuck.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So a good teacher, even though bias is hard to get around, a good teacher should be one that you don't know their beliefs on an issue, right? They teach you that this is a thing that exists in the world. It's like in a government class, for example. You look at different political philosophies. You will show them, like, here's the best arguments for the best people that support this. Here's the best arguments for the best people that are against this. And you don't take a position. You just say, like, this is what's happening. But obviously, like, a person like Gabriel Geib, he's incapable of that. Like, there's no way he could be teaching that way. Especially if he just straight up hangs a picture of Mao and fucking the Antifa flag in his classroom.
No shit.
It's ridiculous.
In the middle of Sacramento. Like
that should have immediately, like, as soon as the principal walked into the classroom and saw an Antifa flag, he's like, you got to take that down.
You need
like,
to take that down, man.
Like,
okay, less than 10 years ago.
So everybody's ignoring the gay pride flag. Why does it get to stay up? That's been radicalized too, man. You know, that's what's really shitty about that stuff, man, is that it's become a political thing. You know,
I don't even notice it anymore because it's been so corporatized.
Exactly.
I think I totally spaced out it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate wokeism.
Exactly. So, all right, we're gonna keep rolling with this dude, and then I'll skip.
I think we're all pretty disgusted with the politics that are going on these days. It does not need to happen to my son, who's headed to public high school, or anybody else. Thank you.
My name is Sean McMurray. I'm a parent of 2 students. One graduated from Indercom and had this man's class last year, and my other son is currently going there. So I'm outraged, of course. I'm furious about this. I know the indoctrination.
All right, this is a red state redneck voter, a flyover voter that obviously Gabriel Geib hates because he talks about them with such disdain. So just listen to how articulate this dude is.
So I'm outraged, of course. I'm furious about this. I know the indoctrination in the schools have been going on a long time. We know that the Antifa organization is no different than the brown shirts were for the Nationalist Socialist Party before the Nazis came into power. We know that. And the fact that you have such a pedestrian response to what has happened, like, oh, just by the book. It's just, we just got to go by this section and that section. What about principles? What about the kids who have followed this man's path, went up to Oregon, maybe burned some buildings down there? What about them? I haven't heard anything about that. You know, maybe we should get a class action lawsuit, endangerment of a child. You know, maybe we should do that. So I want to thank Project Veritas, and as you guys sit up there behind your bureaucracy, I blame the leadership from the top down, because that's where it is. It's not an isolated incident with this guy. I've been in my child's classroom. I saw a Planned Parenthood sign. It was in Spanish. I decided to bite my tongue. That was about 4 or 5 years ago, but it's no place for the classroom. These kids are formative. It's time for them to start their individual creative thinking and not follow some psycho and become a useful idiot.
So he said 5 years ago he had political shit in
I
his
love how
classroom.
you called him a psycho.
For a communist party.
So my name is Jay Ash. I was born and raised here. I've lived here all my life. I've got 2 grandsons that are getting ready to go to Intercom. You feel this pain right here? It's not going away. The only question I got is, where does the fucking buck stop? This is bigger than one teacher. If this investigation doesn't expose everything, and you aren't above the board and transparent, I would challenge you to pick anybody out here to be on that investigative body. You're not going to get it done. And we're not going to be satisfied. This isn't going away. This is going to get a lot bigger. And if you don't have more of this, open discussions and revealing what's really going on in our schools, it's going to get uglier. It's really going to get uglier. There were so many red flags. The man had an Antifa flag behind his desk. He had Chairman Mao in the fucking corner. Are you kidding me? I hold administrators at that school. I hold the person that hired them. I was a correction officer. I retired from there. They went all the way back to my junior high school. How far did you guys go back? All you needed to look at is what his social community or clubs he belonged to. His tattoos probably told the story. So where does the buck stop? Is it with you guys? Because if it is, you better do your job and you better get it right. Because you're not going to get a second chance. We'll expose them all.
Thank you for hearing me. I need to remove my mask to speak. I was frankly mortified when I saw that video. I tried to put myself in the place of a young student returning to school after a couple years of isolation and just the horrible things, the isolation and the lack of social contact. And I tried to imagine myself as that student returning to classroom and meeting this teacher, okay? He's a bully. He's not teaching what kids need to hear, what kids need to learn. He's not teaching for the student. He's teaching for himself. Half of these teachers that are in there, you guys should really, really take a long look at. They're teaching their crap. They're teaching it's their agenda. It's not what kids need to hear. It's not what kids should be learning. It's socialism, it's communism. It's beyond that. The flags he had on the wall, we've talked about that. He's had murderers on his wall. My family tree holds 2 murdered police officers. My nephew just flew the last C-17 out of Afghanistan, and my son's out on CAL FIRE. So I know what I'm saying when what America means to us, to our family, and to these kids. It is something special. We cannot have it be trod down in school. We cannot have our teachers putting down America, inciting racism, inciting all different types of things. These kids do not need to hear it. They do not need to be anywhere near that ideology. And I actually suggest that you get counseling for his former students. Thank you.
Questions. Is anyone from the board going to be available after to speak with us? And if not, then I'll ask my questions here.
Later this week. Tonight.
I'm asking because we've been trying to get comment. We've been calling the offices. We've been emailing. So I'll ask my questions, just 2 that I have right now here are, have any prior complaints been made against Gabriel Geit, and have they been reported to Intercom High School? If so, what were those complaints? When did they happen, and what actions were taken by the school? And if no actions were taken, why weren't they taken? And then another question, the teacher in question, Gabriel Geit, stated that other teachers do share his beliefs. Has the board taken steps to identify any of those teachers who may have been sharing their opinions in the classrooms? And if so, what actions are being taken?
Yeti King is correct. Communism is actually illegal in this country. And teaching it in a public school is illegal too, I believe. Y'all got any comments?
Well, yeah. Well, I have something to say about like the speakers. So we're watching an abridged version, but I watched the entire school district stream.
Right.
Not a single person showed up. Right. Like we're seeing all the speakers that are coming out against this teacher. There was nobody that came out supporting him.
Right.
Nobody. Not a single one.
Right. And letting them dangle. And it's because they're covering their asses, man. You know.
And then somebody else was like, "Yeah, we need an investigation and an audit into like every school district." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, 21 Jump Street style team."
If that dude's been teaching at least 5 years, okay, then you know that there's been at least one or two complaints. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There had to be, and so when they asked him that, there was no. Given this dude, man, I would imagine there was a shitload of complaints. You know, got kids crying coming home and stuff. I'm sure. You know, he's gonna sit there and single his kids out, and you know, it's horrible. It's abuse. So all right, what we'll do is we'll keep on. Do you want to stay with this guy or kind of move around? Let's see if we can move up.
Sorry, I was muted. Actually, you know what probably you should look at? Not complaints. Look at requested transfers leaving his class. That'll tell you a lot.
Not her, not him. Just keep skipping around. Because this is pretty long and you already played through it. And I think a lot of people have watched this already. Yeah. Not him. That guy. This guy's cool because this guy's like, I know the name of the other teacher.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So let's play him.
Graduated this year. Okay. He went through hell last year, and you put all of us on the front line last year. We got to see everything that was going on. You have the men in blue here to protect you guys. They should be knocking on that door, arresting that man. I have nothing but respect for these men in blue as much as all these people do. If it weren't for these people, he'd probably be dead. Because people like this lifted.
Well, he's referring to Antifa's ACAB, pillar.
Him up. Do you guys know how much teenage suicide happened last year? That's what we should really be talking about. That's on you guys. All of it. I want to ask for your resignation. You guys don't deserve this job.
He's 100% right.
Many
The people on the school board
in this room that can do your job 1,000 times better. I promise you, I'm one of them. Because I care about children. I don't think you guys do. Or you wouldn't let this kind of stuff happen. This is ridiculous. I got this video this morning, and let me tell you, I'm not shocked. Why? Because there's another teacher right down the road at Leroy Green Academy who did the same thing to my son and to many others. And you people know who it is. I'm not even going to mention the name because thank God for these people, because I'm going to go talk to them and they're going to do another video. Because you're going to see another video as soon as they get to talk to me. I promise you that. You already know his name. I don't even got to mention it. I'm appalled that that man is still teaching at my daughter's school. I cannot believe it. My daughter is taking AP World History. She's so uncomfortable with taking the class. You know why she's taking that class? Because I wouldn't let her be in this other person's class. That's on you.
First of all, I would like to thank every parent that's in here right now.
All right, I'm gonna find the kid. Okay, we'll go with this.
Oh no,
this lady's good.
Is the reason why my daughter is standing behind me is because my job as her.
What?
Oh, she black-explains it.
Thank every parent that's in here right now.
Not
the second thing is the reason why my daughter is standing behind me is because my job as her parent is to protect her from anybody that has ill will towards her. So being that this is her first year at this high school that is world renowned and everybody knows about this school, is so perfect and everybody does everything right. The first time my daughter tells me and she goes against my wishes to come out of a classroom that's disruptive to her well-being, I have an issue. I am very articulate. My children are very well read. They speak their opinion. They make sure that they are clear in what they do and do not like. And for the fact that my 17-year-old daughter had to come to me and said, "Mom, you don't understand. Let me explain." This means that in 2 weeks, in 13 days, he was allowed to change my daughter's mind about some fascist crap that y'all have let in this school. I'm tired. This is ridiculous. I'm from Texas. So this don't go on in Texas. This does not go on in Texas. There are 2 grades higher than California, period. So to think that my very sound-minded daughter would go against me and my wishes and our values in our home to be able to go and support this man and he is putting her in harm's way, what the hell are y'all doing? I'm tired. How long does it have to go on before somebody says something? How long? How long? What are you going to do? That's the question. Get him out of here. We don't fucking care about this boy. He got to go.
Good afternoon. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the order. My name being called earlier. I'm actually a parent of a student in a local district.
Right.
I actually walked with.
Hold on, we'll go by a man bun here. All right, this lady's pretty cool. All right, I'm dug her too.
I don't have any kids at Intercom anymore, but they did attend Intercom High School a couple of years ago and last year. What I'm concerned about is the fact that we have taken God out of the classroom, but we're letting in this type of evil, which is socialism. Why is it that it's so hard to let God back in and have a balance? These kids that are being taught Marxism and socialism, if you guys have noticed, they are more depressive. They don't have accountability. They're always playing the victim. We need teachers that really care for our kids, not because of their agenda. These kids nowadays, with COVID, with the lockdown,
What?
Did you notice how many immigrants are here fighting for their children? There's a thing that people don't know about Sacramento. Sacramento has a very fascinating, actually, that entire pocket where you go from like, I don't know, maybe King City all the way up to almost the border. It's a really fascinating snapshot that's very different than the rest of California. There are a ton of immigrants from former communist nations, places like Vietnam, Poland, Hungary, Romania, all kinds of Eastern European bloc, as well as Asian and Cuban. There's a lot of Cubans there, and there's a lot of Argentinians that fled from the socialism that destroyed Argentina. So there's this really strong underlying sentiment that keeps Sacramento itself very purple. The Democrats, despite what they show on the polling, the people themselves are far more conservative than a lot of the outlying area. Oh, is the North still on fire, dude? Oh, that sucked. Fuck, sorry. Ray cut me off in the middle of that.
It's cool.
Fuck, I hope my uncle doesn't lose his house again.
They don't need socialism. What they need is accountability. And exactly from what I saw on the article, that he's saying, I'm going to scare the F out of them. And then now he's talking about he's scared for his life because Veritas put him out there. What kind of example is that to our children? And he's teaching our kids, high school kids, our future leaders.
He's a typical leftist, man. He's going to play victim. I mean, right?
I'm scared for my life because I got caught. I got caught doing something that I know a lot of people would be mad at me for doing. But no, he thinks he's the good guy, so.
Yeah, no shit, man. Dude's insane. He's like Lex Luthor. You know, the really baddest of the bad guys really think they're doing good, right? What they're doing, what they want is for the betterment of everybody, and it's not. It's insane. That's literally insanity.
I agree.
This guy and whoever is associated with him needs to be out of that environment where our kids are. I'm going to have grandchildren, and I don't want my grandchildren to be exposed to this. unfortunately, all our parents here do not have the capability to homeschool or take them to private school. We are depending on you guys to give that kind of environment for our kids.
Wait,
Keep them
pause real
safe.
quick.
Do not send them to a depressed.
We need to find out who this woman is and hook.
Outrage
hook
this
her up.
morning after a pro-Antifa high school.
I'm saying we need to hook that woman up with Deb Filming, which explains, nope, you can do it, and you can do it, and you can save money.
Well, actually, it's in California. There are a whole bunch of extra hoops you have to jump through.
That's
depending
true.
on where you live, or
You might
if
have to leave California.
Yeah, if you can get an education degree, or a degree in education, or if you can pass the CBEST fairly easily, you don't have to worry about it. You can just pretty much do whatever you want. But if you don't have, and it's the California, I can't remember what CBEST stands for anymore. I was going to take it and change my mind. But it's like $1,400 to take the test, and that was back 15, 20 years ago. So it's always been very difficult to homeschool in California. They've always made it difficult. So I think since the 90s, they really don't want you to. The teachers unions have a stranglehold on the state. But most states, it's fairly easy. Oregon is really easy.
Yeah, Virgie pointed out that really the socialist indoctrination stuff started with the Common Core. That was the foot in the door.
He was absolutely right. I saw his comment.
Right. So, all right.
It actually really sucks that, at least for math, I was defending some of the Common Core things that they were doing, because I was only being presented things that, as a person that went through computer, like I got to differential equations. That was the last math class I took, which is basically calculus 4.
Right.
And I saw what they were doing, and they were teaching people about number sets and things like that. And yeah, it looks complicated, but it's like getting them to think a little bit more about like how things are in actual math. But then I saw some other things about Common Core, which are absolutely fucking insane, like word problems. Word problems start with like things like, this person is black and they are this percentage likely to be abducted by police, right? Or arrested by police for a certain crime. And this person is white, and like they'll like determine the ratio as to if X amount of white people and X amount of black people got pulled over with police, how many of each would go to jail? And that is fucking insane. That is worse. Like the whole number sets thing, like I was okay with, but and also I didn't realize the de-emphasis on results.
Okay, now there's a bigger problem than that. I know they were only showing you a limited stuff, and it looked like the number sets and everything made sense. However, what they stacked on top of that was they changed the entirety of the vocabulary for mathematics. So you no longer had regrouping or borrowing and carrying. They had special silly like apple basket and things like that for the younger grades that were completely convoluted and removed the ability to show mathematical logic and linear reasoning that you need with like numeric values.
Man, I could bitch about this forever. So the real problem is, especially with math, is that some people like are very like they have a high aptitude for that thing, and you need to like do tracking. You need to put them in advanced mathematics. You need to get them out of arithmetic as soon as possible. But other people aren't like that, and that's fine. It's totally cool. You actually have to have some sort of tracking program, but unfortunately, and this is actually a symptom of leftism, right? Everybody gets a trophy. You can't put people in a special position, like especially kids, for saying that like they're superior at math than other people, and that's fucking bullshit. Like even China knows that they need to do that. They actually do that like to a very specific degree, which is like maybe the only reason the Chinese economy holds up.
Well, you have to keep your populace fairly dumb to have control over them. No, the problem is that you're looking at, I'm talking about like at the pre-K and kindergarten level, they are not teaching children linear values for things. Like, this is 1 apple, this is 2 apples, nothing like that. It'll be like, you know, puppy likes 1, but puppy's afraid of 2. Puppy really wants to lay on 3, and Puppy thinks 4 is just too many. And so they aren't even learning
so
the
that's just dumb.
values. Yes, and that's what they're doing. Sorry. But that's what Common Core did, and that's how it made everybody stupid, is they started with the littles.
Yep.
Right now, these kids can't even speak up for themselves in the classroom because they're afraid they're going to get an F.
Hello, my name is Wendy, and as a former teacher, I know that we're not allowed to share our political views, and the students shouldn't know what we believe no matter what we're teaching. We're to teach the content and teach it professionally. Obviously, Gabriel did not do that, and we've heard lots of complaints about that tonight. But my concern is with the Facebook page that says Natomas Unified School Forum, and we have a board member, Lisa Kaplan, who is an admin for that board member, for that Facebook page. And today, when a parent asked to see the video, I posted the video from Project Veritas, the Facebook link, and her response was, "This is inappropriate for this forum and will be deleted." She says, "This is inappropriate for this forum and it will be deleted. Feel free to Google on your own." It's a Natomas Unified School Forum page that's public. And my response to that was, why are we censoring this? It's inappropriate what the teacher did. So you're censoring the parents from knowing what happened, and you have no problem with that, but you didn't censor the teacher. So he had it blatantly on his walls. So why are you censoring parents and not the teacher? Why is what we want to see inappropriate? His own words, why are his own words inappropriate? Because he's been caught, but what he's doing is not inappropriate.
You should be ashamed.
Way to call her out. That was a great way to illustrate what you know. She was very articulate and on point.
That's why I wanted to watch her. Like, she came up and said, like, that's what a teacher is supposed to do.
Right.
Like, my
She just used a Socratic method.
My political science class in college, the teacher, he always played devil's advocate for every position you could do. But what he would also do, like at the end of the year, he explained to all the students what his political position was.
Excel? Oh shit! Well, people, my Discord just crashed. My Discord crashed. And it has done this before. The crashing Discord. So what we're gonna do is I'll be talking just for a second here while we all get this stuff fixed. All right, and we'll go ahead. All right, and we have to open Discord back up. Yeah, I don't know. It's done this before, like during one of these streams, right? And I got a feeling I need more computing power, but that's for another time because we got to move and shit. So we do have what we have. All right, and we're opening it now. But we want to see what this kid does, okay? Because he's brilliant. And I should be back with everybody.
Hey, Irate.
Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, my Discord crashed again. So it's been doing that a couple times past month.
Well, isn't it amazing that Discord has become incredibly unstable since Microsoft purchased them?
It's not surprising though, is it?
No. Why is it
Right.
everything Microsoft turns to shit?
That's a good question. All right, let's listen to this boy. I'm sorry about the delay, y'all.
He's a
I
very
try to be as
articulate,
calm as
smart
possible.
kid.
Yeah, I was, usually I'll throw shit and scream and stuff, but I had to be a good boy, and I appreciate everybody. Michael Hatfield, you're awesome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bobby. I'm a sophomore here at Intercom. I go to school here. I am under all of your
Oh, it's every stream that
instruction.
Michael has watched.
I was
today
called
has had,
last year when I started freshman
has
year
had
under the
similar
lockdown
issues.
politically
So,
illiterate.
Discord
All of my
is doing
beliefs politically
something
illiterate.
unstable again.
Oh shit!
Are you live already?
Yeah, we were live. Hold on a second.
Where are we? There we are. It finally loaded.
Sorry about that. All right,
It's all good.
I'm gonna back it up.
So this woman uses the Socratic method, which is the traditional classic way of teaching.
Yep.
She's a very intelligent teacher.
Way to call her out.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bobby. I'm a sophomore here at Intercom. I go to school here. I am under
Bobby's
all of
pretty
your instruction. I was called last year when I started freshman year under the lockdown politically illiterate, and all of my beliefs politically illiterate under GYPE. A teacher I didn't even have. I didn't even know the guy. I was called politically illiterate for comparing his system and this entire system of the lockdown and all of that to socialism. Politically illiterate. Now, I have to say, I had a teacher before all of this, 8th grade, right before the lockdown happened, Mr. Fernandez. He escaped communist Cuba, moved to Russia, then that went communist, and we went to the Soviet state. Socialism takes your health care first. They own your body. Second, they take your education. They own your mind. This needs change. This needs change now. I don't know what else to say, but you all need to rethink all of this, and it needs change. I was in a class, I'm Jewish, I was in a class, and there was a Free Palestine sign next to a Planned Parenthood sign, flags of the LGBTQ, and women's rights. Do you not see the irony, the contradiction that's being taught? They were telling us we must identify with history personally. I need to personally identify with Hitler to know what he did wrong? No! Thank you. Thank you.
That was my son.
Pause.
I love that look of pride on her face.
What was really fucking awesome is that kid, in a lot of ways, it was a rudimentary understanding, but he was pointing out the contradictions of critical theory just based on what he knew. As a, 15-year-old, 14-year-old, young as fuck. And he was smart enough to understand, like, these are obvious contradictions. Like, you can't have all these different things up on the wall
at the same time.
Palestine. You can't tell me that I need to personally identify with history. Because that whole personally identifying with history that's one of those things, like, personally identify with your history as far as Western colonization goes. Not as a Jewish individual that has to think about World War II and the Holocaust. Right? Because you can't personally identify with fucking Adolf Hitler. And like, when he said that, that's a fucking home run. That ball fucking left the park and, like, landed somewhere in New Zealand. The kid don't even play baseball.
Well, look at his mom. You can tell she's always up his ass and making sure he's doing his best.
Good old Jewish mother, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I guarantee, just listening to her talk, this person's pretty leftist.
All right, yeah, we're almost at the end.
On a ton of policies. So.
Yeah, I think it's she and then one person, and then the guy tries to meet with the board. Well, actually, hold on. Old Coomsock donates $5. All right, we'll knock that out. A loaded question about a loaded coomsock went over to XL's head in less than 2 minutes after he said he could identify a loaded question. Hopefully none of that coom landed on your head as it went over. Sorry for the late response. Had a phone call.
Oh my god, it was so loaded and I am covered in semen.
Damn. That's an image I can't get out of my head now. I'm just saying. I don't know where to thank you or to curse you.
I'm choking now.
All right, let's roll.
My name is Deborah Hozempa. He's in 10th grade. The beginning of the year started with a history teacher. How incredible. In this class, which he just spoke of, he went to voice his discomfort because it's just something that, yes, there are times, whether you agree with it, whether you don't agree with it, but for these children to have to see these images for an hour and try to absorb them without any explanation of what they are or what it means to them, they're just inundated with images without explanation. Go along to get along. Well, he won't do that, and I won't do that. I do have a question in regards to curriculum. Last year, it was very difficult I know the previous year, I was so excited, the school district bought new curriculum books. We got to go and pick and browse and see which ones and voted on them. So last year, he got all of his workbooks, his books, brought them home. Not one teacher used those books. They had their own curriculum. Where is that from? Is it approved by you? Do you know what each of those classes are teaching? You don't. Because in his history class this year that he had for a week, they took identity tests. They took personality quizzes. A 14-year-old taking a personality quiz in a history class. For what? Exactly how does that relate to history?
To put them through on an oppression scale. We talked about this last night, right?
Yeah, but I don't understand why you would use a personality test on a teenager.
Well,
everybody comes across, like, it's almost universal. Teenagers display as bipolar, schizoid, or paranoid schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. All right, is it really a personality test, or is it a political opinion test? Presented as a personality test.
I guess, I don't know, because an actual classical personality test, you're not going to give that to a teenager. You're just going to think you have a class full of delusional individuals.
I actually used to grade MMP, not grade, but score MMPIs for teenagers. You can. And there's two scales that tell you whether they're lying or whether they're just making shit up or just randomly,
Okay, I was going to say, because the vast majority of teenagers are never going to answer those honestly.
Well, yeah.
That's why they're all going to turn out looking crazy.
But that's why those personality tests ask you the same question 45 different ways. It's like 350 questions. It's
It's even worse. Is that it's not that like the teenagers are going to lie. They're just gonna like kind of go with their instincts for what they answer. Because I was the same way when I was a kid, right? I wasn't very principled. I couldn't read between the lines on the question. Like I just answered it with what I felt was the answer at the time.
Yeah.
And then also, like at the same time, let's say like I knew this answer was like this question was like, are you a good person or a bad person?
Exactly.
I would have been afraid to answer like I'm a bad person. I would have answered I'm a good person, even if I was a bad person. Which I just want to be like very clear here. These are questions like, you're 16. Have you ever tried illegal drugs? Right?
My daughter
Like
would
if
say
you
yes,
answer
all of them. My daughter would. It wouldn't matter if she actually had, because my kids are actually very straight edge. They're probably going to end up being teetotalers for the most part as adults. But they make drug jokes all the time.
Yeah, your daughter's fucking awesome, but you have to like realize, like me, like I was never even like those kind of questions never crossed my mind at that age. Like my parents weren't sophisticated enough to be like you, where like you're very politically aware, you are all very socially aware, you can speak to your kids about like social issues and political issues going on in the world. My parents weren't like that. Like my dad sold car parts and my mom was like a waitress until she went crazy and broke her back. Like it just wasn't part of my upbringing. So if I got a test like that, I guarantee I know what my answers would have been. It would have been like, even if the answer was yes, I would have said no.
My kids would have been looking to see if they could get themselves called like megalomaniacs or something. Like it's.
They would have done the opposite. They would have purposely done the opposite. Yeah. So here's another thing. It's like as you're growing up, you're getting instruction from your teachers and whatnot about what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. And if your only goal is to like score right on the test, what you're going to do is you're going to listen to them and you're going to answer all the questions the way you think your teachers think you should have answered the questions. You're not going to tell the truth.
Oh yeah, no, my kids would much rather be a contrarian if they're going to be forced to lie. They're going to make a farce out of it.
That is fucking awesome of your kids, and I'm actually talking about myself. Like I've even told you up until Ron Paul, like I heard him. I was going to vote for Obama, and I was totally into it because the whole rock against Bush was so fucking punk rock. We talked about that.
Oh God, I did buy those CDs, and I went, oh, these aren't as good as the rest of the album.
Yeah, and then like at that point, I actually started like doing a lot of research, like reading things, and I'm like, none of this shit makes sense. Holy shit, Obama's gonna be just as bad as Bush. And then I was fucking right. But apparently the rest of the punk rockers like decided to not pay attention at all to the fact that all Obama did was carry on the neocon policy.
I've always been a nonconformist, though, so it's I think it's genetic because there's a whole generation after generation of nonconformists in my family.
So yeah, I always was too, and I thought it was part of the nonconformists until I found out the nonconformists were being conformists, and then I became the nonconformist out of the nonconformist.
All right, so so let's go ahead and end this thing, this reel that we've got. This lady is it's hard to make out, but just listen to her. She's reading the law about it being illegal to teach communism.
California Education Code, Article 4, number 5130. No teacher giving instruction in any school or on any property belonging to any agencies, including the public school system, shall advocate or teach communism with the intent to indoctrinate or to inculcate in the mind of any pupil a preference for communism. Yes. Motion for another recess.
So they got burned out on getting their asses, their poop pushed in by all these parents and stuff. So they decided to leave, and they had told Project Veritas that they were going to meet with them, and they didn't. All right, and this guy's the guy was there for that night. All right, but the superintendent does meet with them. Okay, and I've got that reel, and I think we need to just go ahead and roll into it, and then we'll stop and talk about it. All right, so here it goes.
How long? Hold on. How long is this reel?
Like a half hour.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for
well, it's already pretty ill.
Yeah, this is what I don't think you saw in our chat. So, fortunately for everybody here, guess what? You want to see accelerated deconstruction again? You only have to wait until Wednesday. And I say that we do this with full commentary on Wednesday.
Okay, we can do that. We definitely can. You want to get some calls in?
Yeah, we got a
few
minutes.
We got
Excel?
No, I don't need to go. I need to call my mom back, but it's bullshit. No, I don't need to go, but I just let's not go past 2 hours. Like, if this is a 30-minute video, that's another hour and a half of content for us. But I do want to cover it.
I can't cut it down. All right.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
on Wednesday.
Let's cover it on Wednesday. And I'm actually more than fine sticking around for another 20 minutes. I just didn't want to stick around for another hour and a half.
Gotcha.
If anybody wants to come in, talk about anything, let's try real hard to make it critical theory related. If you want to come in, you want to join the Discord, we will pull you in and talk.
Well, I was going to say, we can talk about the cultural impact and how easy it was to shift these people's thinking and how easy it was to change the way the world has been for, up until recently. Because if you look at just in the last 5 years, how much more difficult has it gotten to talk to people that you don't align with politically, that are over the age of 30.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
I'm putting a link to the Discord in the chat.
There's some weird stuff about that, right? So these lines are no longer drawn based on universal healthcare is a great idea. And I'm like, no, like that'll fuck everything over. We should have totally free market healthcare. Those aren't their arguments anymore. A lot of the people that are that support universal healthcare are just like, yo, bro, we can talk about this later, but this fucking critical theory shit is gonna ruin society.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, but
if you want to hop in the Discord, just hop in the green room and we'll yank you in. So if you can't see it, it's okay. I'll make it we'll take care of you. You'll be able to see the green room. So, all right. Without any further ado, I'll shut up now. Sorry.
Well, I'm choking on air today, y'all. I've been out in the heat, carrying around probably 24 flower pots, so I'm a little raspy and a bit tired.
Coomsock donates another $1. Oh, I want to come in and cover a lot of things. Okay.
You want to coom?
Well, after your last super chat, I already had cum all over my face, so.
No doubt.
It's all stuck in his beard now.
If you want to fucking splurt on a Tima and Irate, you're more than welcome.
Indeed.
I don't know. I'm married, dude.
I don't think that's going to stop it.
So am I, man. Right?
Coom socks are kind of, they don't really care about monogamy, do they?
No, there's no socks like coom socks. Send your monkey in the shot.
And
Chocolate Dr. Pepper, man. That sounds terrifying to me.
Oh, no, cream soda Dr. Pepper's great.
No, the
Good
chocolate
stuff.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know about the
cream
chocolate
soda
thing.
I'm okay with, but the chocolate, I know people like I'd never liked the taste of Tootsie Rolls mixed with soda of any sort. It always bothered me.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Tootsie Rolls. Like, I saw the video, so our friend Stone Monkey ordered a bunch of chocolate Dr. Peppers. He drank it, did a review, and he said it kind of tastes like drinking Dr. Pepper with a Tootsie Pop flavor. And some people might be into that.
Like Dr. Pepper with a chocolate Tootsie Roll in it. Like, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Fascism is a form of socialism, indeed.
Oh my God, like, this is something that fucking drives me goddamn crazy.
If you want to hop in,
that
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Well,
Just
what drives me fucking crazy is that communist sympathizers will always say something like, well, it was liberalism that gave laid the pathway for fascism to exist, which is the complete opposite of what happened. Fascism was actually like, it's a derivative of socialism. That's why they all called themselves socialist. Like, they agreed with a lot of the warnings or predictions that socialism happened to have, which all were not true. And then they found other ways around it. And one of the ways was, we're all going to consider ourselves part of this state. We're all going to consider the state as this thing that we worship. like at no point did fascism ever be like, oh, we love capitalism and liberalism and individual liberty and stuff like that. That's just not a thing that happened.
What is so wrong with individualism, man? What, you know what? I don't understand it.
It's natural.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's natural, and it is the true silver bullet to everything they stand for.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason fascism won out over communism, which is what the communists have been pissed off about for like the last 80, 90 years, is that at least with fascism, they're like, yeah, if you own your business, you can keep it, right? You can keep running it. As long as you do what the state wants, we're cool with that. Well, the communists were like, we're just going to fucking take that shit.
Right.
That's the only reason. Like, it was that simple, is that they gave people that are like, oh, I don't really like the communists or the fascists, but unfortunately, we're in this situation now where we only have two choices, right? Those are the most popular parties. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the fascists, because at least my small business as a young German will not be taken over by the communists, and I can keep operating as I am.
There would have been a young Italian.
Well, yeah, properly. That's something I explained to other people earlier. It's like, fascism proper is, it was Adindro. Adindro, like put out this thing, is like, what's worse, communism or fascism? And somebody said, like, everybody was saying, like, communism was way worse. I'm like, the only reason you would think that is if you're like a white supremacist. It was like fascism proper actually wasn't really racially based. It was nationalistic, but like Green Mussolini, he didn't talk about race.
No, he talked about Italians and their superiority as Italians, but he didn't talk about
Yeah.
race.
I think the worst thing that even that I think the worst thing, like both the National Socialists and the fascistas in Italy, they had this manifest destiny idea that they could reclaim their old territory.
Yeah,
and that's
The
why
Roman
they were
Empire.
helping them on the war.
Right. Indeed.
Y'all got me right now?
Hey man, what's up? Welcome.
Y'all
aboard.
got me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Right on, right on. Yeah. You said you wanted to talk about critical race theory. I gotta tell y'all about my daughter. She's gonna be 13 September 11th, and she's living in California with her mom right now. You know, I see her a few times a year. You know, maybe 4 or 5 times a year. And her and I talk every night. And she tells me about her teachers, and they are absolutely indoctrinating these kids. And my daughter she's losing friends. She's freaking out. Like it is so messed up what they are doing to these kids. And you know, for the most part, the general population of the planet that has average intelligence doesn't like fucking understand what they're being indoctrinated with. She my daughter is an extremely intelligent young woman or young lady, and she fucking sees it, and she doesn't know what to do, and I have absolutely no fucking advice for her. I just keep telling her, like, be yourself, just think critically. You have to think critically, and you have to think for yourself, and don't listen to these people trying to tell you how to think. And it's fucking heartbreaking, guys. It is heartbreaking.
Dude,
It absolutely is.
I don't know what to say. You know, I mean, it's like I can't imagine having a kid like, in that kind of situation. Oh man.
It's bad, man. It's really bad, and she's such a good kid. Like, dude, she loves skateboarding. She loves riding bikes. She likes hanging out with her freaking homies. She's a great kid, and they're just like trying to take everything she is like out of her head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scaring the shit out of me.
It's a
man.
brainwashing technique. We studied this guy that studies cults. We looked at it, and what they do is it's literally like something like they do in boot camp. They tear you completely down, and then they rebuild you. And what he calls it freezing and then unfreezing, right? And
It is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've read that before too, man.
Yeah.
It is.
It's cult bullshit.
Like, there are a lot of people that are critics of this new social justice indoctrination bullshit that calls it a cult. It's not just James Lindsay. It's not just Helen Pluckrose, right? It's like, I think fucking Peter Thiel was one of them.
Hell, I'm saying that. You're saying that.
Well, it's because fucking even Michael Malice is saying it at this point. I mean, it's
everybody's
everywhere.
saying, like, that's why I say it's beyond indoctrination. It's reprogramming. Is what they're
And it's
going for.
abusive. It's abusive.
It's deprogramming, then reprogramming. Like, they're fucking taking these kids.
Same thing.
They're taking everything they learned out of their fucking heads and like shoving new shit into it, and it's fucking terrifying, man.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I'm getting fucking emotional right now, but this is my daughter. You know, she's gonna be 13 in a week, and it's like, what the fuck?
I have a nephew, 2 nephews and a niece under 10, and I'm scared for them. Even living in the Midwest, which is probably one of the safer places for them to be,
No, it's
Midwestern
not,
suburb.
dude. I live in Chicago. Chicago, and
sorry.
Hold on, dude. I recently went through a divorce, and I had 2 stepkids that were in Naperville. Naperville, Illinois, one of the best fucking places to live
I got a
in the
buddy
goddamn country.
Yeah.
They were doing CRT and BLM and all that bullshit in that school too.
Let me correct myself a little bit. So I live in Kansas City, right? The southern Midwest. Two red states. So I hope that's not going to affect them, but I have no degree of faith that it actually won't. And it's mostly because we're graduating so many of these people to become teachers. They've been indoctrinated that they think they're so self-righteous that they're doing the right thing. And we have teachers unions and school boards that they never want to fire a teacher. They don't even want to look after their teachers.
So they can't fire them.
And a lot of them, and a lot of the people in power agree with what the teachers do.
Well, because the teachers unions give a ton of fucking money to the Democratic Party. It's a racket. All it is
it's
just
a money funnel.
fucking
Yes, absolutely.
It's so fucked up, and I feel so bad for these kids.
Virgie's here. Sorry, Virgie. I just didn't. Yeah.
Was Virgie in the room?
Yeah, he's in the green room. He coming in now. Sorry, dude. Damn,
I love this son of a bitch.
Virgie, you can just jump in, dude. All right, I'm gonna make it where you can jump in anytime. All right, Mr. Virgie.
Oh, you don't want to do that. Don't do that. You need to have a leash on me, sir. You run a serious show around here. I've already done it to AP on accident one time.
All right. No, wait, Virgie. I'm gonna make you feel better. Next Friday, I'm gonna get fucking shit-faced. And then right in the middle of the Creem stream, I'm going to join in and I'm going to start talking about the most dumb shit I can possibly do. And I will speak over everybody and make irate kids. And then at that point, you'll be like, at that point, and you're going to see that, Virgie, and you're going to be like, all right, I can have a card in the library. It'll be fun.
Just pop in and be like, there's some merits to universal health care,
Oh, no. So that would actually benefit irate prostate. What I would actually have to do is pretend to be an actual neo-Nazi.
6 months fucking wait times benefit everybody when they have cancer.
Oh, no. No, it does not benefit any individual, but Susan's okay with that.
Universal basic income will solve all of this.
Occams gives us another $1 and says, I'm not communist, but I'm not a communist either.
Yeah.
Oh, I am a communist. My bad. Well, then,
I'm more talking about going in and like trying to like make a serious argument for white power. White power.
You're trying to make a serious.
You got hate in your heart, let it out.
I mean, we're pretty close.
Dude, we're fucking Weimar, man. I mean, this is exactly what Weimar Germany would look like. I'm serious.
It's true. Actually, like I just shared a picture on Facebook. I don't know if anybody's following, or not Facebook, sorry, Twitter. I don't know if anybody's following me, but it was a white supremacist leader surrounded by all his followers surrounding a black man, which was the leader was Larry Elder, and they were all surrounding.
That's so bizarre. I had a thought and it ran away. Damn it. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I hear that Larry Elder fella is passing out coupons for tiki torches at his rallies.
Yep. That's what I hear too.
Here he drives a silver Dodge Charger. This is 2016 again, and I'm bringing up dead-ass jokes.
Isn't it a black Charger?
No, it was a silver one.
Was it silver?
Yeah, trust me, I was looking into buying one.
I don't know, I think he's making the argument for like slavery should be legal again in California.
Excuse me.
And then only black people should be slaves.
What's the argument against that?
I don't have one, man. I'm voting
Everybody's
for Larry
so
Elder.
uncomfortable.
Well, how are you going to vote for Larry Elder if you live in Kansas City?
Well, the Californian government will send you one out if you've ever lived in the state of California.
That's true.
Democrat.
Yo. Dude, I got a good story
I
about
talked
that.
to some friends of mine that they got mail-in ballots in the last election, and they told me how to do it. So I'm
Dude,
good.
I got I got a ballot or 2 ballots to my fucking house from people who have literally never lived at my address.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote
I'm
for Larry Elder about
I'm
like
fucking
7 times.
positive, Roots, that you have a story to tell. You're from fucking Chicago. I'm sure you have a story for everything.
No, yeah, but I lived in Cali. I lived in northern Cali for 6 years.
You definitely
and I registered to vote. You know, I always vote. I think everybody has to fucking vote. And I went out there and I voted for 6 fucking years, and then I left the state. You know, me and my kid's mom got a divorce. I moved back to Chicago, and the address that I was staying at was her grandma's house, and she called me up and she's like, "I keep getting ballots. I keep getting ballots for you." Like, they were just sending fucking ballots, man. Like, they just send them out like it's fucking nothing. Like, it's fucking nothing. And the thing is, in California,
You can print them and send them in if you want. In Cali.
Yeah, but like, Emma, you
And
don't
the other thing
understand.
is-
Our elections are the most secure elections in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
Right?
Yeah, hold on.
Whoa.
Everybody shut the fuck up. We are a part of Irate Prostate Stream.
This is my fucking show.
No, we follow the fucking rules of YouTube. Election fraud is
Well,
a
you
very
got the
minor
wrong-
thing. It did not change the result of the election. Anybody that believes otherwise is a fucking conspiracy theorist. And let's go on.
Dude, I'm a cartoon dog that's stoned. If you take advice from me, I'm sorry, but you're fucking
You're
idiot.
fucking up, man. I feel you, man. I hear that, man.
I'm literally 2-dimensional.
Indeed.
Fuck.
Fucking dummy.
Oh shit, it's the top of the hour, fam.
Oh, sniggity snappity.
I know, man. It's like brr, boom.
Only 10 o'clock, guys. Come on. What the hell's wrong with you? Stay up. It's fucking Saturday night.
I know, but I gotta go make sure my children aren't beating each other.
Well,
let
don't
them
do
beat
that
each
and
other.
come
That's the
back.
problem. It's Saturday
Toughen
night.
them
I got
up.
other shit to do.
Yeah, and starting on Wednesday, we're moving this show to Wednesday nights at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So mark it on your calendars. It's going to be the Wednesday night XD broadcast, Accelerated Deconstruction XD. Happy, smiley, laughy face for short. Because
And
you know what?
honestly, it'll be much
You know
better.
what?
It'll be much more
What is
consistent.
the one thing
too.
that a communist hates more than anything else? It's humor.
Is laughter.
Yes, exactly. A sense of humor.
Oh yeah, we left about shit.
Use comedy as a weapon against communism. They fucking hate it. They hate
I
it.
thought the
Polls
answer
can
was
teach you a lot.
agriculture.
Yeah, the other thing is like
That's an issue too,
And
man. To be honest.
infrastructure.
That always escapes them.
Metallurgy, shit like that. Yeah.
Anything that requires your hands, pretty much, except for masturbating.
All right. So
And eating baby birds.
all right,
We're good at that.
while we're here, let's just ask Virgie. So what do you got coming up?
Oh shit. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna do a long stream of some sort. Got a couple new. I've been finding a lot of potential out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not necessarily fully reared cows in the wild, but something that you see a real cow in there. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen Toilet World.
Yeah, I was watching. I like right when I did a long drive by on your channel last night. You were like had this blonde chick sitting on the toilet farting in it.
Yeah, it was pretty great, huh? Yeah.
It's
Quality
crazy as
fucking
shit.
content I provide, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fucking yeah, I got a couple other ones. I've got a new homeless person. Drop a little fucking spoiler for your stream there. Yeah, I got a new homeless person to laugh at.
Okay.
But you guys know how I love torturing the homeless.
That's right. We do the internet equivalent to bump fights.
Yeah, I actually have I have two pores for us to laugh at and make us feel better about our measly
That's right.
as South African men fly off into the stars.
At least we've got bugs in a pod.
Yeah, at least
Basically, Virgie's got a lot of shit coming up.
Yeah, I've got one that is confrontational.
Cool.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. If not tomorrow, it'll be Monday.
All right, Roots, what do you got coming up?
I ain't got shit coming up. I don't do streaming, man. I just like talking to y'all assholes.
Well, I was thinking about asking you to do like next Sunday.
I'll do it, man. I'll do it.
Fuck
Any
yeah!
fucking time you
All
want.
right, I will DM you and we'll make this happen for sure. Okay.
Right the fuck on, bro.
Yeah, because I'm moving at the end of the month, so there'll be 1 week where I won't do a show probably because we'll be in the final stages of packing and shit. And
Where are you moving, man?
Watch out for $1 donations.
My dad passed away in December, and the probate is fixing to turn over the house to us and stuff. So Uzi and I are going to be living in the house instead of this wonderful apartment complex that we've been in for a while. And I'm looking forward to and dreading the life of homeownership again.
Oh yeah. It's a fucking chore, bro.
Yeah. Well,
I know, but you get all that freedom along with it. It is
exactly, and that's exactly what
Nothing
we're
says
looking forward
freedom
to.
like a 30-year loan.
No doubt. Well, this
you
is,
own it outright? I've always only owned my houses outright.
Dude, my dad paid for that house in cash. That's the way he did shit. Yeah. And he spent the rest of it on hearing aids.
So irate, man. Irate. I went through a divorce 6 months ago. Bitch took fucking 8 acres, a house, a truck, a tractor. She took a ton of shit, man. But
Hey,
I got
Root.
to keep my camper, my '79 Bronco, and like fucking miscellaneous shit. I'm taking my fucking camper and I'm heading down to Florida, bro. But I'm gonna fucking stop at Aunt Kathy's. I'm leaving like September 28th or 9th.
God, until I shit my pants.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go hang out with her for like a week.
Yeah, that's the way
me and her are gonna do bonfires and smoke briskets and shit.
Well, when I get my
See,
shit
that was smart.
cranked up in my new streaming room ready to go, that's one thing. I'll have one room where I can sit and do this and not worry about waking people up or the air fryer going off and shit. And making noises. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool.
I just tell my wife I'll beat her if
Well,
she comes
it's
out
like-
of the room when I'm streaming. That works too.
Sometimes, man, it's like it's 4:30 in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just like, fuck, I wish I could stream. It's like, it's just like, it's like, oh.
Yeah, but
You
Virgie,
gotta
are you married to a ginger?
Yeah, she's.
Why would
a
that
ginger.
matter? She's still a woman.
No, are you married to a ginger? Because there's a little bit of inherent danger with being married to a ginger, even if they're only
I'm a fucking
part
ginger.
ginger.
Hey,
And
man,
it's true. There's a bit of danger being married to somebody like you, isn't there?
love me some ginger, man.
No.
I fucking love it. I think
Yeah.
it's great. My husband's a bit of a ginger himself.
Yeah, there's nothing like domestic violence. That's
All
just
right,
awesome.
so
I'm gonna go.
No,
I'm gonna go
there's no
smoke
real
some
domestic
crack and shoot
violence,
some
there's
dope.
just
All right,
crazy
yeah, we need to
street
split.
show.
I'm just kidding.
Let me chill out, y'all. All right, Sorry Prostate tomorrow. We're going to be talking with the one and only Culliver, for artist formerly known as Rackus News. So if you remember Rackus, he's a cool dude with a really hip and smooth voice. We're gonna listen to the velvet tones of the one and only Culliver, and probably learn a little bit about Warhammer 40K.
Hey, real quick,
Yeah.
when you're done with that, can I do a little promo I forgot
Please
to do
do.
when I was...
Do.
Okay, so
Go.
Oh, you
No, I
can't
was-
because you were talking shit about gingers.
I wasn't talking shit about gingers. I was giving them props. I'm a fucking gypsy. You think I don't appreciate crazy? It's a quality I look for in others. Come on now.
That was kind of funny.
All right, fair enough.
Okay. I was talking shit to some Democrat in a stream about information, and this young man popped in behind me. I think his username on Twitter is Kenny Flair. He has a channel called PIN Global News, and it's just him. He looks like he's maybe 20. He looks very young. He's got kind of curly, bushy hair and a hat. His diction for reading articles is fantastic.
Oh, cool.
And I want to help promote this kid in his reading of articles, and he tries to stay as rational as he can about his commentary on it. And I'm like, it's impressive because he's pretty young. So this is his channel. It's PIN Global News.
All right, and so next time you'll see us will be Wednesday. That's right, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, and 5:30 Pacific. I'm doing math in my head, obviously, because I was taught the correct way. Just saying. And on that note, I'm saying goodbye. What about y'all?
Count on your fingers. No, don't, guys.
You broke up a little bit, and that sounded awesome. Week, and he doesn't stream on Saturdays.